We're driving cars on a Mars tonight. We're blasting off to the stars tonight. We wanna go, go. We wanna go, go.
Okay.
Hi, YouTube! That's not how we start.
No. Hi, Jeeps Before Time here, Leanne and Jesse. So bear with us. This is our first gear review video, as I have promised you guys, and has been delayed due to everyone getting a little sick, but we are all
Or
better
heat,
now.
or rain,
Or heat or rain. Yeah, it's been,
or just busy.
but we're here. So I'm excited. I have tried to give you guys the best gear that I think we use the most. And
The most.
yeah, the most. That's number one. But today we're going to talk about winter camping. So with it being August, winter camping is number one where we like to camp the most.
Because we live in Georgia.
Because we live in Georgia.
Where it's hot as hell all the time.
Yeah. So we are, we're going to be going to the Jeep Invasion in about 2 weeks, and I'm super excited about that. And so with that being said, we're looking at what the temperature is going to be at up in the mountains, and this is the type of stuff that we make sure to have. So let's get to it. The first thing I think we're going to talk about is, of course, the Jetboil. I know there are a lot of reviews on the Jetboil, but I just want to make clear for those coffee lovers, it is bar none the easiest way. But, I mean, we've been beating the crap out of this thing. I mean, it's been through sleet, ice, snow, rain, flood, literally floods.
This thing's only use,
It's coffee.
or the occasional hot dog cook for
Yeah.
when the kids are starving and
And
we
it's great.
just-
I mean, as you guys know, I mean, we do a lot of camping. We use a lot of camping foods that are just kind of like add water. So mashed potatoes, oatmeal, things like that. This is great for that as well. It keeps you from having to pull out the whole kitchen system. Makes it clean up really easy. It is just, a lot of people have them, but we just have to say that it is our most used piece of gear. I mean,
Definitely.
even if we're not camping and we're just out for the day, especially in the wintertime, you just want to stop and hang out for a little while on the trail. This will get busted out to make a cup of coffee in the wintertime, even if we're just hanging out for the day on the trails.
with the quickness. Normally this sits behind my passenger seat in that little cubby in the Gladiator.
With the coffee and the,
Yeah.
it's
So,
a whole little coffee system that we have.
We got the coffee here. Oh, here's the other one. This is the one I was looking for. So you can get multiple sizes.
And these things they're very affordable. They're not
Isobutane.
very expensive.
The only bad thing about this setup is if you are out in super, super cold, this will freeze up on you. So you
Yeah.
want to have a liquid fuel. And we do have a setup that actually allows us to use that. I don't have it on the table right now.
We did the Jeep Jam in Myrtle Beach, and we thought we had brought lots of things that we had not brought, and
Yeah, a
this
whole
was
bag got
something.
left
Yeah, a whole bag got left behind, and this was able to save us.
With that little piece right there.
Yeah.
No.
So
The-
if you want to know if it's worth the money, it really, really, really is. I absolutely recommend the Jetboil.
This Jetboil, and I don't know how I haven't lost this plastic piece. It retains with some craziness, but versatility and ease of use and just simplicity.
Like if this broke, he wouldn't waste 2 days. Buying another one.
It would be now. I might buy the bigger one
Right.
because more coffee, but yeah, this is a.
It would be
staple
it would be replaced immediately.
for sure. Yep.
Especially in the wintertime.
Yep.
And now there's coffee grounds all over the stable. It's not a bad problem to have. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about while Jesse finishes packing away all of our fuel, because my husband loves fuel.
Give me fuel, give me fire.
Is definitely going to be the Camp Chef.
Camp Chef.
The Camp Chef is
Which Camp Chef? We have two.
the Camp Chef fire ring.
Oh, okay. Because we also have another way of cooking.
Well, so this
On
is
a
originally
16 by
not meant to be
16.
used for cooking.
This is true.
This is what Kerbo, our buddy, the
Bargain
Kerbo family,
Modder.
Bargain Modder. This was a trick that he taught us. So the lava rocks are not in it right now,
Yeah.
because it makes a big mess. So we removed the lava rocks. But let me see, there's one there. But this is actually like, it's got a cute little like Christmas tree or pine tree cutout that you can see. I don't know if you can see that on camera. But this is just meant to be the ability to have a fire at your campsite where creating a campfire is banned. You have fire bans. That's what this is supposed to allow you to do, is usually if you can't start up a fire at camp, you can usually pop up a propane fire ring. And so that's what we bought this for. I think we found it on sale at Cabela's one year.
Yes. It was
And-
at Cabela's.
And it was on sale, and we snatched it up. Now, then about 3 years after having it, we met the Kerbo family, and he pops the same little thing out and puts a skillet on it and is cooking on it. Some of y'all might be like, yeah, duh, we know. My mind was blown because it alleviated the need, because this was with Ducky, so we didn't have Sharptooth, we didn't have the kitchen setup that we have now. And it lightened our load with Ducky so much. So we don't do this anymore because now we have Sharptooth. But if you don't have a full kitchen setup, you can probably find a Camp Chef fire ring, and then you get yourself a little skillet. And
Don't touch it, just kind of.
it's
charred.
okay. Yeah, I've got it on my hands now. But it's a great setup.
But the nice thing about this is it allows your gear to be versatile.
Yes.
Not only can you use the campfire to heat up food, but you can also use it to keep warm. We also, like, you can put this ring directly on top of a plastic folding table and cook off of it, use it for heat. We tuck the table up underneath our rooftop tent, like the rainfly area, and the heat coming up from that kept us warm, like the whole family warm, the whole night long, and it was phenomenal.
So yeah, that's the Camp Chef. We absolutely love it. Now that we have Sharptooth, though, we'll probably be going back to using this as a way to stay warm. It's just quick and easy. One of the little hacks that we noticed is if you can find like about this big of like rocks and you can build them around it, we realize that actually creates a massive difference in heat.
It allows the rocks to heat up
Yeah.
and warm, and then it gives that radiant
Is
heat back
huge,
off.
is night and day
or
difference.
if you can stack rocks to reflect the heat
Yeah.
back to you when you have this on the ground, it does, again, night and day difference. Okay. So the next thing is the Lifesaver. The Lifesaver actually ended up being a lifesaver for us
Yes.
because
on one of our last trips that we went on, we got to camp, we went to start using water, and we ran out, and it didn't add up. Jesse swore up and down. I mean, you couldn't convince him
where I
otherwise
filled that.
that he filled the water tank before we left, like he always does. But we get to camp, and we're trying to use water, and it was made abundantly clear that he had not filled
No
the tank.
maswagwa.
So we were working on what was left over from the last time. And so we had about 2 gallons of water left over. And this always goes with us full, but rarely gets used because we treat this as kind of an insurance policy. If something was to go haywire from the water aspect, this is a backup. I wouldn't say that where we were was exactly remote. We weren't far from convenience stores, water, fire, shelter, things like that. But we have plans to do that, and if we had been more remote, I don't know what to do with him. If we had been more remote, this would have been nice to have in a situation like that where Sharptooth was empty of water, Husband. Does anybody want a husband? I've got one for sale. But yes, the Lifesaver is great. It is literally, I love the name of it, Lifesaver. That's how you should treat it, in my opinion.
And it does meet the same standards as the Army has set for water purification. And that's just basically right out of the box. It's got this little charcoal layer to give the water a good taste. The filter is as long as the unit is tall. But as you saw, all I did was pump a couple of times. You lay it over on its side.
And boom,
And-
clean water.
Yeah, so
Yep.
it's that simple. It also has a lock open option. You can put a little hose on here and
And this is a little Dollar General, Dollar Tree trash can I found. We were out on a camping trip and my kids, all three of them, decided to get their from their knees down, filthy dirty in the mud. And so this was a way for us to pour water in here to conserve, and allowed us to do a bit of like a bird bath. So that and a little bit of soap, and my kids went to bed clean. So the next thing is my favorite thing. I love these things. They blew my mind. So before we were overlanding, we used to go hunting a lot. And one of the biggest reasons I don't want to go hunting, like I enjoy it. I enjoy doing every bit of it. The point where I get tired of hunting is when my hands get cold. I like to bow hunt, and more than a rifle. And it is difficult for me to use my bow when my hands are cold. So, but I had always used the with the hand warmers you get. Who makes those? The little cloth ones with the stickies on them. You get from Walmart. Find those during hunting season. So that's what I had always used to stay warm, and I would use those when we started overlanding until hot snaps. So these are super cool. So how it works is when you when you take them out of the box, we have them in 2 different sizes. If you go on their website, they may have other options now. But should I do it? Can I do it? Can I show them?
I mean, we already have this one that we have to reset, so might as well.
Yeah. Okay. So if you look, I don't know if you can see it.
Just don't use your nail.
Yeah. There's a little disc. Okay. It's just a little metal disc, and I'm sure some of you guys.
It creates a frequency because
Yeah.
this is a salt mixture, so it creates a frequency.
I'm gonna do it.
And
I can't get it to do it.
Right here. So you get the little disc down at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah.
You get the little disc down at the bottom, and you hold it between like 2 fingers with your thumb
And
behind.
you snap it.
Right? And then you snap it.
There we go. I didn't have the finger strength.
Hold on. There it is. See how it starts to grow? And it crystallizes, and in the crystallization, it gets warm.
Yeah, it gets really warm.
It gets really, really warm. So before, where it was very pliable and jelly-like, now it's kind of opaque.
And a solid.
Yeah, and a solid. And you can just keep this inside of your
Pocket.
pockets.
Mm-hmm.
You can keep it in your mitten if you have one. And it like, this is too hot to hold for me right now.
Yeah, for it being as hot as it is outside.
No.
But yeah, these are really, really great. One of the things I like to do in the morning with being so sensitive to the cold with my hands and stuff is I'll sit in the rooftop tent with these in the morning, and I'll pop them in the morning, and then I'll just kind of hold on to them, and I'll get my hands nice and warm. And so then when I get out of the tent for breakfast and for coffee, I'll put them in my pockets. And so by that point, all I'm doing is maintaining the heat in my hands, and they'll definitely make it through breakfast, waiting for the sun to warm up everything. And so yeah, these hot snaps. We'll put a link in the description, but these things are great.
They're wonderful. They work great for kids too.
Yeah. So I was a little iffy about this one. So with Sharptooth having a different rooftop tent, a lot of people asked us, why didn't you keep the tent that was on Ducky? And it was just because we wanted to start fresh with something new after the accident, and that's where we were headed with that. So when Jesse found Sharptooth, and we were able to connect with the previous owner, and then we were able to get the bed rack system, and it carried the iCamper Mini. And so with that, Jesse did take the ARB awning that was on Ducky and added it to Sharptooth. And I think the ARB awning was the last thing we had added to Ducky before the accident, and we had used it a couple of times. What we never got the chance to do before the accident was use this.
The deluxe tent.
The deluxe tent that zips onto the awning. And it just, we were like, we weren't sure how we were going to use this. But when we realized that the iCamper Mini is not big enough for all of us, we decided that we wanted to see how this would work. So we came out and we set it up in the driveway before we ever used it. And I can tell you, I really wish we had recorded that just to show you. It's crazy how easily it sets up. It really isn't complicated. I know a lot of times when I watch videos on YouTube of people pulling like the big parachute fabric out, and it looks kind of cumbersome. It's really not. It's really easy to put together. And
there's a little C channel that it slides down into, and then it's got some clips, and that's pretty much it.
And it's robust too.
Yeah, it's very large. It takes up the whole space of the actual awning itself.
And and every one of the walls of the tent has a zipper to open a rain fly that allows wind to come through, a breeze to come through the entire tent. So you can have the whole tent be more of a mosquito-free room, or you can close it down in the wintertime and you can retain heat. It also has cargo pockets sewn into it on the inside, so the kids can put like some toys, some light toys or light books, things of that nature. And it's proven to be really great. I will have some content to show you. But yeah, this has now become the kids' room because the iCamper doesn't fit us all up there anymore. And the kids have actually grown to really, really like this. When they wake up in the morning, they make their bed, they have their sleeping bags, and they bring their toys. And when it's dark out, or it's too cold, or it's too rainy, this is a really nice area where they don't have to feel cramped in a rooftop tent. At least for my 3 kids, my youngest is 5, my oldest is 9. And so they're getting kind of big, even for a rooftop tent, for them to play rather than just sleep. And so this gives them the opportunity to do anything they want to do, and spread out, not be on top of each other. So definitely enjoying the deluxe room by ARB.
Yeah, this is well worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, absolutely. Followed the channel for a while. You might remember Ruck. Ruck was one of our friends in a couple of the first seasons we did. He had the yellow CJ5 named Lemon Drop. And this was a gift from him. It is a JanSport gear bag, but it is an amazing bag. It's crazy how much it holds. And so I just wanted to show you guys. It's what I use for my dry gear. Dry goods, yeah. This pocket here actually becomes very deep. It pushes into the duffel side of the bag, so you can put all like spices and stuff there. And then it's also got backpack capability, which is really nice. But I can also loosen these and then obviously open the duffel bag, and it's got the little netted pocket, and it's insane how much it holds. Like, duffel bags are known to carry a lot, but it's really, really, really nice. I really like it.
The whole unit collapses.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I never do that. I always have it open.
Because we normally keep it full of stuff, so
Yeah.
we're always ready to run and
Right.
roll.
I actually had to take stuff out of it for the
But-
video.
The whole thing folds down
Right
into
here.
this small little, just straightening it up, the small little package. That way you have a much smaller unit to store.
Which is so cool. Now, the one downside to this, it is not waterproof. And I found that out the hard way. If you remember the episode where we were camping with Kerbo on our first big trip to Oconee, we got flooded out the first night.
The Oconee River.
The Oconee
in
River
Tennessee.
in Tennessee, yes. This did not, the softer, I had made the mistake of putting bread in it. I put bread in this and it didn't smush, but it got wet. So as long as you don't put anything water sensitive, as long as it's like tightened up seasonings, I put a lot of like oatmeal packs, hot cocoa, things like that, and then I put them in a Ziploc bag. It'll do okay, but I don't know.
And unfortunately, I don't think this is something that JanSport uses anymore. It's kind of a vintage item.
It is vintage, yes. But I just wanted to show you guys, I thought it's one of my favorite items. So we'll call it a bonus because I don't know that you can get one anymore. There might be others like it, but this one's mine. I really, really like this. It's one of the things I was gifted by a fellow Overlander that I really, really like. So thank you, Ruck. And that, I believe, concludes our first gear review. Be sure to go in the comments and let us know how much of a train wreck this was. No, I'm just kidding. You might notice that in a gear review, I am a bit more nervous than out on the trail. I have a hard time standing still, and I like to be going out and doing things. I am more of an action camera content kind of person. So this is a bit out of my element. It's much more his element. He does the more meetings and presentations and things, and they're a bit more difficult for me. But I did it for y'all. We really hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about any of the gear or anything you'd like us to review next that you've seen in the videos, let us know. Otherwise, subscribe, and we will see you next week.
Bye.